Hey all, Jace here. First of all, it's been around 3 to 4 weeks since we've done our last postcard video, so I figured we would go over a couple of those today. And also, we have some more exciting news and speculation on when we might be getting potential release dates for Hytale. But I'm gonna try and keep this one short and to the point, so if you guys enjoy this kind of content, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. I really love hearing what you guys to say, and if you're new, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyways, let's just jump right into it with our first clip from the Hytale postcards. So this one was put out about 4-ish weeks ago. It is a short 5-second long video of a goblin juggling bombs. Now, this isn't anything like super new that we've been seeing. We've already seen this specific variant of goblin, but like we're getting some new looks, first of all, at the special effects. If you look closely at the bombs, you can see some sparks coming off, as well as even some smoke or some sort of fog coming off of the goblin's backpack, as if the fire is kind of emanating that a little. I think the effects look really good, and I think the animation's nice. I'm not super sure where we would be seeing this in-game. Maybe it's some sort of idle animation. It's also unclear whether or not all mobs in the game have some sort of quirky idle animation like this. If I had to guess, it would only be like semi-intelligent mobs, for instance like goblins, because we know in like previous videos that I've shown that there are like goblin societies and such, and like goblin houses. So maybe this is exclusive to mobs with some sort of intelligent trait. I'm not super sure about that. Secondly, we have a postcard depicting 2 earth golems of some kind in one of those elemental rings in Zone 1. On the left here, we have what appears to be a dirt golem of some sort. Now, people have been saying that these look a lot like void eyes. I respectfully disagree. I just don't see the resemblance other than it has like a floating body and like one central eye. I don't think that that's necessarily a design choice for an enemy that's exclusive to void eyes. So again, I just kind of disagree that they look similar at all. I do think it's interesting though, and I like the design of it. The arms are a little weird to me, but I'll roll with it. In the background, we also see what appears to be some sort of crystal golem on the right here. He seems to be in a dormant state. Likely he'll wake up in proximity to the player, or if the player does something in regards to the circle. He's probably some sort of defense mechanism for the giant crystals that we see. People have also been mentioning that the corrupted golem looks somewhat like this. I can kind of see that resemblance a little bit more, which kind of begs the question of what element the corrupted golem originally was, because from what we're seeing here, it appears that the golems have elemental powers or elements specific to them. We've seen in the past, like, the Ember Wolf is a sort of fire golem, and we've seen screenshots of a water golem as well, or an ice golem, whatever it might be. So, the corrupted golem that we saw at Gaia's temple presumably held another element before it held corruption, because it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for corruption to be in Gaia's temple as a baseline. Essentially what I'm asking is, like, what was the corrupted golem before it became corrupted? So if you have any thoughts on that, be sure to leave it in the comments down below. Also, if you look to the bottom left here, there is a Quebec chilling out with a rabbit. It's nothing super interesting, but it's nice to see like relationships between intelligent mobs and passive mobs. Moving on, we also have an image of 2 armadillos. Now this is probably the least interesting image that we're going to be going over today, because it's just 2 armadillos. Like there's nothing super interesting here. There's some nice bushes on the right here, but honestly that's about it. Yeah, there's also like one doing a rolling attack, or a rolling animation of some kind. Maybe it's like a defense mechanism. It probably is, because it's an armadillo, so I guess it would make sense that they would have some sort of defense curl. But I don't know. And again, it's one of the least interesting images that they've released thus far, so I don't really care that much about it. Lastly, we have an image coming from Zone 3 of a corrupted tree just kind of chilling out in the forest. Now, this one I think is actually pretty interesting. Now, starting off, we get a beautiful look at both the depth of field and volumetric fog in the game. It really adds a creepy vibe to this whole thing. And the trees in the background especially look very realistic. They almost look painted in just because of the depth of field effect. I think that this looks spectacular. Now, getting onto the tree itself, I really like the purple. It's very vibrant and it really stands out among the other trees. Definitely gives off an eerie vibe, especially with that weird red crystal looking thing at the top right of it. Now, looking into the forest itself, we see some signs of corruption, like here on the right. There's some sort of bulbous plant thing or some sort of green, or not green, purple growth there. We see that kind of on the left here too, some sort of like strange plant. Looks like the tree is spreading corruption to the nearby area, and it looks like there's some structures hidden in the fog as well. If anyone has any ideas on what those might be, I would love to hear some speculation on that, because I am personally not super sure what it could be. My best guess is it's some sort of Outlander building, but again, if anyone else has any better ideas than that, I am open to hear them. Now, I mentioned earlier that we have some new information, or speculative information rather, on the potential release date for Hytale. Now, we've seen in the past couple weeks that the Hytale website has been a little more active. For instance, the login page has recently gotten leaked. Now, there's nothing super interesting here. It's just like an image of the login page. It doesn't work at the moment, but the fact that it exists and that we found it could lead one to believe that that means that like the release is getting closer, because if, of course, you're going to release a game, you would want to have the login page and all that set up beforehand, so that once it's announced and people like log into your website, they can actually, well, do that. So I think that that's a hint that the Hytale release date is actually getting closer. But the other thing that people have been speculating about in the community recently is E3. E3 is coming up in, I believe, 2 to 3 weeks or something like that. And I believe Riot Games is actually confirmed to be going to Summer Games Fest as well. So a lot of people are wondering whether or not Riot Games is going to be dropping any announcements as to when Hytale is coming out. Personally, I believe that they will. I think that that might be the reason that the devs have been so silent recently in giving us like new information. Whether or not it was the right decision to wait this long to tell us that information and to like hold out for E3 is kind of up in the air, but I'm not going to get into that today. But I do personally think that in the next month or so, we are going to be getting new information about Hytale and potentially even a release date. And I think it's going to come from either Summer Games Fest or E3. So stay hyped for that, and you know already that I'm going to be doing a video on it the second that we get new information on it. So again, be sure to subscribe, and I will make videos on that the second that that information comes out, or as soon as possible at least. With that said, that's about all that I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. And again, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We just passed 200 subs and we are already well on our way to 300. I cannot thank you guys enough for that. It really means a lot to me that like people enjoy watching my content, and I'm just kind of glad to have y'all here. But yeah, I will see y'all around, and have yourselves a damn good one. Peace out.